Tonight, South Australia's fuel fight. Is there an end in sight? The PM planning for the worst but claims the war is nearly over.
Olympic cyclist Rowan Dennis slammed over an insensitive social media post following the death of his wife.
Outback killer Bradley Murdoch's final insult to Peter Falconio's family.
A $5 million inferno sparks panic in the heart of Gawler. Who's to blame?
The girl from Tassie returns as Queen of Denmark, a royal reunion for Mary back in her homeland.
And exclusive, Isaac Rankine back at Adelaide Oval ahead of his return from suspension. How it's made him a better person.
Live from Adelaide, this is 7 News with Rosanna Mangiarelli and Will Goodings.
Good evening. The battle lines have been drawn in Australia's fight for fuel, and the Prime Minister has handpicked his chief to get a handle on it.
That appointment on another day of record fuel prices for South Australia as both unleaded and diesel soar to new heights. Kimberly Pratt joins us from West Terrace. And Kim, these are prices far beyond what we've seen before.
Rosanna, diesel prices are nudging $3. This servo here is charging $2.95.9 a litre. That's almost 60 cents higher than the previous peak we saw in 2022 when the war broke out in Ukraine. As for unleaded, some servos are now charging almost $2.50, some 10 cents higher than the previous record. And back in 2022, that pain at the pump lasted less than a month, but now forecasters aren't seeing any relief in sight.
We would expect to see some stability, maybe a slowdown in the growth in pricing, and so we continue to provide our message to buy only what you need.
Today, a national fuel task force was set up to tackle this growing crisis as our Prime Minister tells the US the job in Iran is done.
Anthony Albanese tells Donald Trump, "You've won this war."
The objectives of denying Iran the opportunity to have a development of a nuclear weapon have been secured. So that was objective number one.
And now it's time for de-escalation.
I'm hopeful that you can see an end point.
A hope fuelled by a fuel crisis, appointing Anthea Harris, former Australian Energy Regulator CEO and Climate Change Authority Chair, the country's new fuel czar, working with the states and territories to ensure supplies get to where they're needed.
Our fuel supply is currently secure. However, I want us to be over-prepared.
I'm not against having a task force if that's going to solve the problem. The Prime Minister should step in. I've been saying that for days.
519 million litres have been pumped from reserves into the regions over the past 24 hours as the Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Penny Wong hit the phones to Korea, Japan, Singapore and Malaysia, suppliers of 90% of Australia's refined fuel. Their message, keep the petrol coming in and we'll keep the LNG going out to you.
I want to assure Australians at this time that Australia is well prepared.
The ACCC taking the unusual step of publicly announcing it's investigating Big Oil, Ampol, Viva, BP and Mobil over alleged anti-competitive behaviour. The claim, pricing independent rural suppliers out of diesel.
If there has been anti-competitive conduct, of course, the people who've done it should be dealt with the full force of the law.
The government's not on top of it. Now it's asking the ACCC to fix the situation.
Treasurer Jim Chalmers now warning the war could push inflation through 5%, and that would force interest rates even higher. The Treasurer also warning climate change and Donald Trump's tariffs are pounding productivity, setting the 1.2% goal back 3 years to 2030 and slashing economic growth. More reason to tighten the belt.
We will make hard decisions in this May budget.
As unemployment rose to 4.3% in February, but 48,000 new jobs were created. And on electricity,
it's potentially some welcome news for customers.
Falls anticipated of up to 10% in the default price for households.
And decreases for business customers between 7.6% and 21.2%.
Though a protracted war could short-circuit those savings. Mark Riley, 7 News.
Olympian Rowan Dennis is under fire over his first social media post since the death of his wife in a driving incident.
The champion cyclist shared a photo of his luxury Porsche, describing it as a weapon, a move slammed by victims' advocates as deeply offensive.
Fresh from the school run, Olympic cyclist Rowan Dennis races straight into his garage.
Rowan, do you have anything to say about the posts on social media?
That post, a picture of his $300,000 Porsche with the caption, "What an absolute weapon." Today, his interaction with the media just as bizarre.
You're amazing. I love you. Hello.
It's the first time Dennis has posted publicly since he was handed a suspended sentence over the driving incident that killed his wife. Fellow Olympian Melissa Hoskins died after being struck by a different car Dennis was driving outside the couple's Medindi home in 2023.
This post is deeply offensive and one that demonstrates a lack of empathy and insight.
What would you like to say about calling a car a weapon, Rowan?
Morning. Have a good day, guys.
Later, he even shared our interaction, posting this security vision.
Do you believe a car is a weapon?
And this, another bizarre post, also calling his kids two absolute weapons.
Rowan Dennis is right now on a 2-year good behaviour bond, and despite boasting about his luxury car, which sits in this garage, he's banned from driving it until the end of 2028.
You would absolutely hope that Mr Dennis understands the harm that his actions have now had and would now delete the post.
Thank you very much.
Mitchell Sariovsky, 7 News.
The family of murdered British backpacker Peter Falconio has been dealt a final insult by his killer.
Hannah Ford joins us in the studio, and Hannah, Bradley Murdoch refused to hear a final plea from his parents.
That's right, Will. The notorious Outback Killer's final days were today aired in a top-end court. The coronial inquest heard that Bradley Murdoch was visited by cold case police in an Alice Springs jail as detectives pushed for a deathbed confession. They had a pre-recorded video message from Falconio's parents pleading for Murdoch to reveal where their son's body is buried, but he refused to watch it, telling them he was innocent. The court also heard police visited him a final time in palliative care, but only stayed for 30 seconds. Murdoch described as hostile, again denying involvement and yelling at the police to leave. The 66-year-old died in July last year while serving a life sentence for Peter Falconio's murder and the kidnapping of his partner Joanne Lees. Documents today revealed he was diagnosed with cancer at the Royal Adelaide Hospital and flown over for tests on a commercial plane back in 2024. Murdoch's family raised concerns about his treatment, claiming it was delayed, but today the coroner found his healthcare was satisfactory right up until his death, as he took his secrets to his grave.
Thank you, Hannah. The soaring cost of living was the hot topic on the campaign trail today, with both major leaders pushing their plans to ease pressure on households. With billions in promises on the table, they also lifted the lid on how they plan to pay for them all.
Watching awkwardly from the sidelines, Peter Malinauskas seemed reluctant to take another shirtless plunge. The campaign appearing to be wearing a little thin on the leader.
We're on the penultimate of the penultimate days. If that makes any sense.
Labor doubling down on its promise of free schooling, camps and after-school activities.
You are going to save over $3,000 if the Labor government is returned.
Ashton Hearn also putting families front and centre, talking up 50-cent public transport fares and free flu vaccines.
We're the only party that is really focused on getting these bread and butter issues right for South Australians.
Both major parties laying out exactly how they plan to fund their election promises. Labor's total $2.1 billion, the Libs pledging $3.4 billion.
At the same time, we are taking a disciplined approach to spending. We will deliver a $3.32 billion in savings and offsets.
$1.7 billion of that will come from not replacing half of vacated non-frontline public sector jobs.
You know, the amount of money he's trying to save is the equivalent of 15,000 public service jobs.
When it comes to the costings behind One Nation's promises, they're yet to be revealed and unlikely to be seen before Saturday.
Well, if you can believe the Labor and Liberal costings, it's a bit of a joke. They're running up $50 billion, close to $50 billion worth of debt.
Unhappy with the line of questioning, Pauline Hanson snaps.
Your questions are not relevant to me and I'm not interested.
One Nation today will be offering you a costings document. Let me show you a copy of it.
Michaela Kamarik, 7 News.
The 20-year-old man accused of killing Perth father Tim Picton in a one-punch attack has narrowly avoided being thrown back in prison. Brodie Dewar returned a positive breath test for alcohol over the weekend, but prosecutors ruled he didn't breach his bail. His strict conditions, including a curfew, being prohibited from leaving the state and no consumption of alcohol. Brodie Dewar is accused of manslaughter over the death of Tim Picton outside a Perth nightclub in December. He's yet to enter a plea to the charges.
An investigation's continuing into the cause of a $5 million blaze in the heart of Gawler. It's suspected the early morning inferno may have been started by squatters.
Murray Street at Gawler explodes in a fireball at 5:30 a.m. 20 MFS crews raced to the scene and faced massive flames leaping through the roof of a disused pizza bar. More than 60 firefighters battled the intense blaze that was raging through 6 vacant shops. 2 aerial appliances attacked the flames from above. At one stage, firefighters feared the flames could reach a Telstra exchange tower and a mini shopping mall at the rear of the burning building.
Fortunately, none of that has been impacted, and MFS and CFS crews have managed to save those assets.
With the main street of Gawler completely blocked off, it took about an hour to finally bring it under control. By then, 4 vacant shops had been gutted, while 2 more were smoke damaged. A home builder next door was relieved his business was saved.
Very close, metres away. Obviously, I think the brick walls have probably saved it.
Shop owners say the buildings have been vacant for about 5 years, but a home to squatters.
Much for a couple of weeks ago, I've seen the front door being jimmied open, and then, I'm very surprised that it hasn't happened beforehand.
They were due to be demolished to make way for a multi-million-dollar redevelopment.
I'm pretty sure they've had full council approval. They've just been waiting to demolish it for quite a while.
Police want to hear from anyone who may have seen suspicious activity near the vacant buildings early this morning. Peter Caldecott, 7 News.
Donald Trump's support for Israel appears to be wavering tonight. The US president criticising an attack on the world's biggest gas field owned by Iran. Desperate for revenge, Iran struck out, hitting a gas facility in Qatar in what is quickly becoming an energy war.
A key Qatari LNG facility burns. Multiple hits, flames dotting the horizon. Iran's strike on its neighbour, revenge for this, an Israeli attack on the South Pars gas field. The world's biggest, half Iranian owned. It sparked fury, a major hit to Iran's and world supply. Donald Trump, quick to post the US, knew nothing about it, blaming Israel for having violently lashed out, vowing no more attacks will be made by Israel on the key gas field. Rare cracks in the alliance, maybe the administration too.
We got a problem. We know that we have a problem. We're doing everything that we can to address it.
But even as Donald Trump oversaw the return of 6 more American bodies, intelligence chiefs were insisting they had to act.
If left unimpeded, they would have the ability to range missiles to the continental U.S.
Iran mourning its losses too. A mass funeral come rally for assassinated security chief Ali Larijani, alongside other leaders killed. But here, celebrations, a hero's welcome for the footballers back from Australia. But even as they trod on the flags of Iran's enemies, fears their future will not be safe. But there are signs of growing public resistance. Iranians turning on the Basij secret police at checkpoints, even secretly messaging Israel with the locations.
Reports too that the Gulf states are quietly offering their support and encouragement for the US-Israel operation, knowing if it fails, the Iranian regime will become an even bigger threat to this region.
Gulf foreign ministers meeting in Saudi Arabia, their phones buzzing with security alerts. More missiles hit Israel again overnight, 4 Palestinians killed, as Israel's Air Force continued strikes in the heart of Beirut. Claims it was home to Hezbollah operatives. They'd sent a warning first. In Jordan, Chris Reason, 7 News.
And let's go live now to Europe correspondent Jacqueline Robson in Tel Aviv. And Jackie, Israel has launched an attack that could anger Russia.
Yes, Rosanna, the Israeli military has struck deep into northern Iran at Bandar Enzali, pushing the war zone to the Caspian Sea, which is also bordered by Russia. The target, a naval base there. Russia also uses that facility as a key route to funnel weapons from Tehran to Moscow to be used in the Ukraine war, a major expansion in this war's geographic scope and one that could also anger Moscow. Plus, Chris mentioned that meeting between foreign ministers of Gulf states that has now finished. They've essentially asked Iran to stop attacking them, saying Tehran is targeting civilian and residential areas and those strikes cannot be justified. Will?
All right, thank you, Jackie. Returning Crows superstar Isaac Rankine says his much publicised time away from football has made him appreciate the game he loves more than ever.
In an exclusive sit-down on the eve of his comeback, Rankine told 7 News he believes his 4-game suspension has made him a better person.
Sure, it holds some difficult memories, but make no mistake, this is still Isaac's playground.
I like being at Adelaide Oval and when the crowd's roaring, the heels going off, and yeah, definitely the last 6-7 months have been just preparing for this moment.
The Crows superstar telling 7 News he's missed kicking his trademark goals more than anything else.
Here is Rankine.
Celebrating with his beloved teammates and his adoring fans.
Look into the crowd, all the smiles, all the people cheering. Is moments you don't want to take for granted.
But they're moments the 25-year-old admits he did take for granted. His homophobic slur towards a Collingwood player last August cost him 4 games, 7 months, and a shot at a premiership.
It's okay to get stuck in it for a little bit, but you need to come out of that those low moments as quick as possible. Not saying you're not allowed to feel those emotions and not allowed to feel angry, disappointed, upset by everything.
For a moment, that pain had Rankine considering giving the game away, but the weeks and months that followed have only made him fall in love with it more.
For a bit, I wanted to stay away from footy, but then the more you stay away, the more eager you are to get back. So it's definitely continue to grow that love for footy again, and just being around the boys, being around that sort of environment is where I thrive the most.
One of those boys, Taylor Walker, whose own poor choice of words once threatened his career.
I have a text there going through something similar to him, to speak through experience and how to get through those tough situations, and you almost have to go through something so low to realise who you are and sort of work out where you want to go in life.
His journey has seen Rankine spend time with the Rainbow Crows supporter group, where he's learned the power of his words. That voice now being used to guide the next generation of Crows.
It's more the younger kids coming in, showing them the way and trying to get them to learn from my mistakes.
Just as he's done.
Understanding, I guess, who you need to become to achieve what you want to achieve. So it's been challenging. It was tough, but I feel like it's made me a better person, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
He'll have the eyes of the footy world on him tomorrow night in his long-awaited return against the Bulldogs.
That last 6-7 months have really made me appreciate footy more, the crowd more, the people more, the city more, and yeah, I'm just excited.
Josh Money, 7 News.
What a massive night it's going to be tomorrow night when he's back. Big stage.
Pretty amazing. He's good enough to live up to all the hype too, Isaac. Don't you worry about that. He's got some tricks, hasn't he?
Certainly does. All right, what's coming up in sports, Odom?
Selection night, of course, as we know. And Isaac's return has meant that a fresh face is going to have to make way. We'll tell you who that is. Well, Josh Carr has swung the axe after the round 1 disaster against the Roos. 7 footies, Scott Camporelli joins us with the blueprints that Port and the Crows will need to execute to get it done in round 2. And Adelaide has a chance to become title town. Both our cricketers and basketballers in the mix to seal some silverware. All that and plenty more coming up soon in sport.
We'll see you then. Thank you, Soda. Now, an extraordinary act of compassion as a woman avoids jail over the death of a young motorcyclist at Aldinga Beach. That story's next.
Our exclusive with Kyle, sacked but revelling in today's radio ratings.
The race against time to prepare for a monster cyclone barrelling towards Queensland.
And the rise in online school tutors. They're cheaper, but are they as effective? There was an extraordinary display of compassion at court today after the sentencing of a killer driver.
The woman responsible for the death of a young motorcyclist at Aldinga Beach will serve no time in jail, but friends of the victim say justice has still been served.
Elizabeth Cranes walked into the district court this morning not knowing if she'd spend tonight at home or behind bars. It was her sentencing for the death of 21-year-old Daniel Gailey. She was behind the wheel with THC in her system and was also on the phone when she collided with the motorcyclist at Aldinga Beach in 2024. The judge landed on a 1-year and 8-month jail term but suspended it, meaning the 28-year-old won't spend any time in prison. Stunningly, this reaction from a friend of the victim.
That's exactly what Dan would have wanted, I think. Yeah, he was a beautiful soul. I don't think he would have wanted to go on any longer and drag anyone down for any longer, yeah.
Daniel's mum couldn't go on living in Adelaide after the crash and moved interstate, but she wanted this message read out.
Motorbikes are here to stay and they will always be sharing the road with cars. Let's try our best to watch out for them.
The charge Cranes pleaded guilty to is causing death by careless use of a vehicle. That offence was created after teenager Sophia Naismith was killed. A new law supposed to facilitate mid-range jail terms, but still.
I feel Danny would think we've got justice because he wouldn't want, anyone to hurt.
The judge herself acknowledged that no sentence will adequately account for the devastation Daniel Gailey's family and friends have endured.
Yeah, it's just hard.
Lauren Rose, 7 News.
Shock jock Kyle Sandilands has spoken exclusively to 7 News as he plots a path to return to his audience. But there's now double trouble at ARN with the inferno engulfing Kiss FM spreading to its other station, Gold.
Breaking radio silence, speaking for the first time since having his $100 million contract ripped up.
A lot of people obviously keen to know what your future is.
Yeah, we're all keen. I'm keen to know as well. As far as I'm concerned, we're challenging the termination or the breaking of the contract, and we'll go from there.
Kyle Sandilands clearly wants to say so much, but can't.
Has it been a very stressful time for you?
It's not emotional, it's just annoying.
Yep.
It's annoying that you have a contract and then it gets sort of taken from under you.
But Kyle and Jackie O go out as winners. The year's first radio ratings show the pair still blitzed FM breakfast, only beaten overall by Ben Fordham on 2GB. All eyes on the next survey to see how Kiss copes without its blockbuster breakfast and whether its audience wanders.
Everything is up for grabs in Sydney breakfast now because there's no obvious place for that Kyle and Jackie O show audience to go.
ARN's move to network Kyle and Jackie O was the beginning of the end for the pair. They landed in Melbourne like a lead balloon. Now it's taking the same gamble with Gold, beaming Christian O'Connell into Sydney from a studio a stone's throw from the MCG. That's not working either.
Breakfast darlings Jonesy and Amanda were booted to drive to make way for O'Connell in January. Since then, more than a third of the audience has walked. Tom Saker, 7 News.
The Australian Army's been put on standby as Cyclone Narelle barrels towards Queensland's far north. Right now it's a Category 5 storm, packing wind gusts of 295 kilometres an hour. It's set to stay at that strength when it makes landfall tomorrow. Police are door-knocking communities with mass evacuations underway.
Well, there's just 4 nights left of the 2026 Fringe season and Mother Nature is putting on quite a show herself.
Let's go live to Casey with all the details. Casey, how's the final forecast looking?
Rosanna, much like tonight, balmy, sunny and calm conditions right till the end. We have seen already more than 3,000 people come through the gates here at Gluttony tonight. Even though it's a weeknight, organisers are preparing for bumper crowds until the curtain closes on Sunday. Now, several shows have already sold out, so if you have an act you are keen to see, get your tickets ASAP. There are, however, still a few tickets to go along and see Milkshake here and Dr. Bubble from Bubble Show in Space. They are one of the very popular family-friendly shows here. And guys, I'll be back with a closer look at the full forecast shortly.
All right, I'll catch you a little bit later, Casey. A parishioner accused of making racist comments against a Murray Bridge priest takes the stand at an inquest into his tragic death. That's next.
Also, another ski resort tragedy in Switzerland. A cable car plummets to the ground in a freak accident.
Cheaper classes. The online tutors giving kids a head start for less.
And could detecting dementia be as simple as using a nasal swab?
Fuel relief's here. This week, 7 News is giving away $20,000 worth of petrol nationwide. Jump onto 7news.com.au/free fuel now and enter tonight's code word driver for your chance to win a $250 voucher. Congratulations to all our winners and thanks for entering.
A parishioner accused of making racist comments against a Murray Bridge priest who took his own life has emphatically denied the allegations. She's told an inquest she lodged complaints against him for yelling at her.
Margaret Daly stood her ground.
Ms Daly, would you like to respond to the allegations of racism against you? Did you ever make racist remarks? No.
Categorically denying claims she racially vilified Father Vimalraj Anthony Adime, known as Father Vim, while he was the parish priest at the Holy Redeemer Catholic Church in Murray Bridge. He committed suicide in 2021.
What was your problem with him?
Miss Daly confirmed there were simmering tensions between the pair, but denied telling fellow parishioners the Indian would be gone in 3 months. That's a lie. I didn't ever say that, and I didn't ever refer to him as a black man. The court heard Father Vim told a churchgoer, "I can't change the colour of my skin for Margaret." I was really hurt that he would think this was to do with racism. When told that Father Vim had died, she said she was horrified, adding, "It's my fault because I'd made a complaint."
Margaret Daly told the court she believed Father Vim had mental health issues and didn't understand the Australian culture. When she confronted him about his yelling, he said that's not yelling, rather it's how people speak to each other in India.
The court heard despite accusing Father Vim of being rude and abusive towards her, Ms Daly played a key role in the 53-year-old's funeral service. Deanna Williams, 7 News.
And if you or someone you know is struggling and needs help, contact Lifeline on 13 11 14. A ski resort in central Switzerland has been rocked by a shocking cable car accident. One woman was killed when the gondola she was in detached from the cable and plummeted down a mountain.
A frightening freak accident. A cable car tumbling down a mountainside. Witnesses watching in horror as the car overturns again and again. It happened at a ski resort in Engelberg, Switzerland. The gondola detaching from the cable above and plunging down the slope. Authorities confirming only one person was on board, a 61-year-old local woman who died of her injuries. Police saying the entire system was shut down and passengers evacuated from the other gondolas on the lift. It's been a shocking season in the Alps. The new year began with a deadly fire in a bar. More than 40 people were killed, many of them teenagers. Then came a series of fatal avalanches. What caused this deadly gondola accident is under investigation, but strong winds were reported in the area at the time. Rob Scott, 7 News.
Now, could detecting Alzheimer's be as simple as using a nasal swab? New research out of America's Duke University seems to point to yes. A team of doctors and scientists has been using a small brush to reach the back of a patient's nose in an area near the brain. The cell tissue is then analysed for early signs of the disease.
The act of taking the swab or biopsy is pretty easy, and the analysis that we've been able to do on these biopsies does show that changes are definitely detectable, early.
Dementia is one of Australia's leading causes of death. Drugs approved in recent years have been shown to help slow the progression, but they're most effective when started in early stages.
The girl from Tassie returns as Queen of Denmark. Next, all the latest from Mary's homecoming.
And hiding in plain sight, one of these toys is not like the others.
It's a royal reunion on the streets of Hobart as Australia's Queen Mary returned home.
Her decades-long Danish love story was at the heart of today's party, with the monarch's wedding band back in action.
The girl from Tassie returns as Queen of Denmark. Why you're here?
To see the Queen!
Welcome back to Tassie. Welcome back. From humble beginnings in Hobart to shutting down Hunter Street at the waterfront for a homecoming party fit for a queen.
What's your favourite part of the trip? Australians. What about Hobart?
Thank you so much.
Australians.
It's so exciting to have a Tasmanian being regal.
Australian-Danish connections on both sides of the fence.
We're from Denmark and my cousin is in Denmark.
A queen without her crown, still the jewel of the crowd.
Would you like to be a queen someday? Yeah. Why? Because the Queen has very lots of nice dresses.
On her first official visit to the Tasmanian capital in more than 2 decades, far from a tourist, instead a sea of memories, cruising past her old school.
Yeah, some good memories popped up.
Before the Queen quite literally had her hands full.
It was a new experience. I haven't done that before. It couldn't have been a more perfect day for it.
A day full of formalities, touring kitchen gardens to Tassie's famous Mona Museum. This now life for a girl who 26 years ago met a foreign prince in a Sydney pub.
And in the eyes of Australians, I suspect I shall always be the one standing next to Mary.
Laura Turner, 7 News.
And now here's Ned McHenry with the catch of the day.
Well, our 7 News audience have been out and about fishing. We'll get to those photos shortly, but a reminder heading into Easter, let's get in and support our South Australian seafood sector. A beautiful kingfish here and lots of beautiful seafood on offer. Let's take a look at what everyone caught this week.
How good's this catch? Jack found a ripper salmon from the Wapinga beach on the Flurio. Dale was nearby at Morgan's Beach near Cape Jervis finding mullet, and Rapid Bay Jetty produced a nice little kingfish for Adam. Roseanne had a day to remember at Wallaroo catching blue swimmer crabs. Gary got a stomper too, wowzers, and John, he was at Wallaroo as well, this time on the King George Whiting. Charlie was just down the Gulf catching double headers galore at Port Hughes. The west coast of our state is firing as well. Zalia shared some blue swimmer crabs from Port Lincoln. Annabelle and George, well, they had a ball at Streaky Bay.
Fantastic shots. If you want to be featured, jump on 7 News Catch of the Day, or if you can't catch them, you might as well come in and find them here.
A toy imposter has given shoppers quite the shock. This possum found nestled among the native plush stock at Hobart Airport's gift shop. As you can see, it looked very much at home. Staff safely escorted it out, but are still miffed as to how it got in. Tell you what, quite the souvenir if you were from overseas and you thought, I'll take someone home with me.
It looked real.
Well, have we got news for you, Soda?
Hope you've got news for us. What's happened at selection night?
We've got plenty of news. There is a lot going on, and it's a big game Friday night. Your Crows taking on the mighty Doggies who are flying. And coming up, a young Crow is going to have to make way for Isaac Rankin's return. We'll tell you who that is. Well, there's plenty of movement at the Power as they look to get back on track against the Bombers. Our cricketers join the 36ers in their respective playoffs to bring some precious silverware back home. And Socceroos boss Tony Popovich takes aim at an impatient defector. Hello again. After just the one game, Toby Murray has made way for Isaac Rankin's return in tomorrow night's blockbuster between the Crows and the Doggies at Adelaide Oval, while Josh Carr has swung the axe with at least 3 changes for Port's clash with the Bombers. The new coach also clarified comments made by Jace Burgoyne about last week's loss to the Roos. Here's Josh Money and Tommy Wilson with all the team news.
Yes, thanks, Soda. As expected, just the one change for the Crows. Josh, you caught up with Isaac Rankin today, who opened up on his past 7 months.
He was back in his playground, Tom, Adelaide Oval, but it is a place that has held some difficult memories for him, especially in September last year, watching on only as a fan, but it certainly spurred him on to play in his own final series this year.
In that journey, it's always been in the back of my mind, when it's my shot, when it's my turn, I'm going to make the most of it.
So after making his debut in the win over Collingwood, young ruck forward Toby Murray is being managed with a back niggle.
Yeah, Jake Saligo was going to get the week off, but this issue gives him a reprieve. And as much as we'd love to see 100% game time for Rankin, the superstar admits he'll need a bit of in-game management too.
I think it's the smartest way to go about it. Learn from my mistakes in the past where I've come back from injury and just tried to go straight in. So in that area I've matured and grown a bit.
One change for the absolute airborne Western Bulldogs too. Will Lewis goes out for Jordan Croft.
Now, before we get to all the changes at Alberton, new coach Josh Carl was very open and honest at his press conference today. It comes after Jace Burgoyne says the team underestimated the Roos ahead of its 46-point loss to North.
In some ways, I may have led the players down that path. We talk about the strengths and weaknesses of an opposition team, and in the end, like in hindsight and reflection, you go, well, did we get it right or did we get it wrong? I look at myself and go, I probably got a couple of things wrong.
And he's acted quickly at selection, Josh.
He has indeed, Tom. At least 3 changes. Jordan Sweet regains the ruck role from Dante Vicentini. Lockie Jones has a hamstring issue, and Jack Lukosius will come in for Ollie Lord.
And surprise, surprise, Josh Carr was asked about Zach Butters' pending free agency again today.
You draw a line in the sand at some point, though, in terms of the constant talk about it, and Luke talking about it yesterday, that type of thing?
Well, I can't draw a line in the sand when I get asked that question every day. So, I've got to answer it, don't I?
That's it. So, Soto, no more talking about Zach Butters. That's the last you hear about Zach Butters.
Who? And for his keys on how the Crows can beat the Doggies, here's 7 footies expert Scotty Mangiarelli.
A drought-breaking win that reminded the playing group and the competition that the Crows' premiership window is wide open. They won the contest battle, controlled the ball in trademark kick-mark style, and Adelaide's forwards capitalised. 14 marks inside 50 and 11 goals off turnover, and an improved output at centre bounce saw the Crows play a front-half game, and that allowed the reliable back 6 to repel any serious Collingwood attacking efforts. Luke Beveridge has got them humming, particularly in offence, averaging 120 points per game. How? On the back of a highly talented midfield group with an elite clearance game. The Crows must break even here. With all that's been said about Adelaide's midfield group since the finals, this is the challenge at hand. While the Crows will want to ramp up the pressure on the ball, they'll need the discipline not to get drawn in and let the Dogs get outside of them. Adelaide's weapon is its turnover game, which gives its key forwards the chance to exploit a questionable Dogs defence, like they did with 11 goals last year. The matchups are mouth-watering. Dawson versus Bontempelli. Butts reignites his battle with Darcy, and the one I'm most interested in, can Lockie McAndrew limit Tim English in the ruck? Isaac Rankin also makes his return from suspension, and he could just be the difference.
Thank you very much, Campo. Now, Adelaide is on the verge of becoming title town with SA's cricketers joining the 36ers in their respective deciders. The Sixers are trying to end a more than 20-year drought, something the Saga boys were able to accomplish last season.
We just really took it all in. I think there was a lot of media, there was a lot of external noise that was going on, but that was almost the best part about it. The whole build-up, it made it feel every little bit more special.
And those guys who have kind of been through the storm a little bit more, I think it kind of hits them a little bit harder. But for us, obviously, knowing that we haven't been there in a while is something that we keep in mind, but it's not something we harp on.
The Sixers face the Kings in a 5-game series starting Saturday in Sydney, while our cricketers will travel to take on Victoria in the Shield final, which starts next Thursday. Well, after 3 straight 1-1 draws, Adelaide United boss Ayrton Andrioli is hoping his side can rediscover its killer instinct when it travels to face cellar dwellers Western Sydney tomorrow night.
They've got incredible players in that squad, experience, you name it, whatever you want to say, and they play some good football. Don't ask me the reason why they are in the position they are in, but we're not, under any illusion that this game. We know that this is going to be a tough game.
Adelaide is 5th on the ladder with 5 games still remaining. And announcing his Socceroos squad for this month's friendlies against Cameroon and Curacao, Tony Popovic took aim at former Sydney FC star Adrian Segicic, who has defected to Croatia. Now, the 22-year-old grew impatient waiting for a nod from Popovic, but the coach is unfazed, insisting he'll never sell Socceroos shirts.
21 that he has to play, and if they don't, I have to fear that he will leave. It's probably better for Adrian that he's gone.
South Aussie Awer Mabil has been recalled for the World Cup warm-up games after an 18-month absence. That is Elegant Sport. Tonight, it's the Battle of the Birds, the Hawks and the Swans. Sydney going along very nicely right here on 7 and 7+ straight after news.
Should be a good one. Thank you very much, Soda. Well, all parents want their kids to thrive at school, and tutoring has grown into $1 billion industry.
Now, online-only platforms are making tutoring more accessible and affordable. But how do the virtual lessons stack up?
4 days a week, Rahanshi Walia has extra lessons after school.
For math, thinking skills, writing and English.
1 in 7 Australian children will have a tutor throughout their schooling, a booming industry driven by parents trying to keep kids ahead or keep up.
Student learning outcomes are declining. Children are much more attached to their screens.
Getting extra help has never been easier with thousands of providers.
Especially with younger children, there's still a lot of value in having an in-home tutor, but online is very popular.
Without travel, it's cheaper. $59 for an hour online with Alchemy tuition compared to $89 for in-person. Hourly rates on LearnMate start at $30 but average $65. Online-only Modi Do offers a weekly subscription from $70.
Within that plan, they have weekly sessions, they have a community hub, they can ask questions 24/7, resources, and of course access to the platform.
But does it stack up?
Any mode of tutoring will be an absolute huge benefit.
When I first started, I was only getting about 50s, 60s. Last year, I was averaging about 80 to 90 across all subjects.
Quality and safety can vary between providers, so parents should do their homework. Check a tutor's qualifications, experience and working with children credentials.
Parents need to know exactly what they're buying.
Georgia Holland, 7 News.
Okay.
Well, Casey's back right after the break with your chance to change a lost and abandoned animal's life.
And weather-wise, a beautiful end to the fringe season on the way. I'll be back with all the details live from Gluttony.
Time for more on the weather now with Casey, who joins us again from Gluttony.
And Casey, the grey skies have disappeared and the sunshine is back.
And the sunshine is here to stay a while, Rosanna, certainly until this year's fringe season wraps up on Sunday. And what a gorgeous evening for the thousands of people here at Gluttony tonight. Still 25 degrees in the city now after a top today just shy of 28. Around the state, we still saw the occasional shower about northern areas, otherwise dry skies elsewhere. Kingscote reached 23 degrees, 26 at Whyalla. Now, a ridge of high pressure along the coast will keep conditions dry and stable across the south, but off the coast of Queensland, Tropical Cyclone Narelle is expected to make landfall across Cape York Peninsula from tomorrow as an extremely powerful weather system. It's a Category 5, that's the top of the scale. Brisbane tomorrow, a shower or two and 28. Sydney showers and 27. Another hot day in Perth, up to 34. Across SA, still the chance for some lingering showers across northern areas, including for Pugacha and Coober Pedy. 29 the top for Port Augusta, Port Pirie and Renmark, 26 for Whyalla and Clare. Mostly sunny and 27 for Kadina. Partly cloudy and 24 for Port Lincoln. Mostly sunny and up to 28 for Murray Bridge. Sunny skies in the southeast, up to 26 for Mount Gambier. Now, while the wet weather has mostly cleared, a number of flood watches and warnings remain across northern areas. For the city, down to an overnight low of 15. Mostly sunny skies, heading for a top of 27. On local waters, variable winds below 10 knots, becoming south to southwesterly to 15, then south to southeasterly, seas below a metre. Looking ahead, sunny skies and 27 on Saturday, 29 on Sunday, up to 30 on Monday, partly cloudy and 29 Tuesday. Very slight chance of a shower. A similar story on Wednesday, then grey skies and 22 on Thursday. And before I go, let's take a look at tonight's ray of sunshine. Double the donations, double the impact. The Animal Welfare League's Giving Day is back. Every donation made today only will be matched dollar for dollar. Vital funds are needed to give stray, lost and abandoned animals across SA a fighting chance and ensure shelters just like this one can give them the best care. The charity is hoping to raise $200,000, but you better be quick with only a few hours left to give. And super simple to donate. Just head along to the Animal Welfare League website, guys.
Good stuff. Thank you, Casey. Well, that is all the news for now. We will have updates for you right throughout the evening.
We will, but stay with us as we take you live to the G now, where the Hawks are taking on the Swans. It's going to be a good one. Enjoy the match from all the Adelaide 17. For now, it's good night.
The 7 News app will give you the news you want every minute of every day, including breaking news alerts. Download the 7 News app now. To watch home and away, switch now to 7 2. Because here on 7, the footy is about to begin.